Subway has teamed up with Live Nation to bring you great food and great music for a great value. Right now, buy a Subway $5 footlong and get a Live Nation concert ticket for $5 to participating Live Nation shows like Nickelback, The Fray, and Crew Fest 2. Ticket price does not include fees. See store for details. Subway. Eat fresh. Eat fresh. The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
this is the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
It might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The BS Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report. It's been a while since we had our old friend Kevin Wildes on, the master of the half-baked ideas. He's been busy. He's been working on the new Sports Nation show, and now he's here in the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. He's in studio.
That's right,
What's
Bill.
happening?
I miss you, Bill.
I miss you too.
I miss your musk.
You know what stinks is that now that you're actually working long hours, you're not available when I throw out mailbag questions that I need help on.
I know it's weird. Most people, you would think I'd be sadder about the loss of like my social life and the fact that I had to move far away from my girlfriend, but I'm really upset about the fact I can't answer your dumb emails.
You were able to get something in about that. I had something in this week's mailbag about a Real Men of Genius type Hall of Fame, which you were the one who, I don't even know how I didn't notice this, but I'd sent you the question. You were like, wait, isn't that the Real Men of Genius ads? I was like, oh yeah, these guys.
Yeah, I was in love with the Real Men of Genius ads.
They were fantastic. So you pointed out that the first guy who drank milk, who looked at a cow and said, F it, I'm just gonna go to town on whatever's coming out of that nipple.
Yeah, it's a game that my buddies and I used to play. It doesn't even have a name, but I'll name it right now. It was called First Guy Who Ever Did It. Yeah. So eventually someone had to do this stuff that you just take for granted.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like someone had to just go jogging. Like I'm just going to go jog. I'm just going to run for a while. Like the more basic stuff is better. That the person who just said, you know what? I know that the babies drink milk out of humans, but I'm going to drink that cow. And then it worked. They're like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's have all of mankind drink milk out of cows.
But you know what? We don't hear about the trial and error people like the guy who tried to drink milk from a dog.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
If someone did a cow, someone did something else. Yeah. Someone like, oh, let's eat a gerbil. Like people have done horrible, horrible things, and have sacrificed their reputations so that mankind can have a cold glass of milk.
So that would be an even more interesting game. The last guy who did it.
Just like only done once. Like someone ate a chicken. Like someone eventually has tried to eat every single thing on the planet. I assume someone ate a rock. Someone like, I'm gonna try to eat this rock. I eat the plant, eat the apple. I'm gonna try to eat a rock.
I think that still happens in parts of Southeast Asia.
just eating rocks. The handful of nutrients.
Well, you've come on here from time to time, and you like to unleash half-baked ideas. These are ideas that are fantastic on paper, but maybe can't totally work.
Yeah, but wouldn't ever really work.
Right.
Whether it's financial or just that people don't have the integrity that they used to have to actually make big ideas. Go to the moon, for example.
Right. Let's go to half-baked idea number one.
Half-baked idea number one.
And I'm going to give you two of mine as well as through there.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're spinning it off inside the podcast.
Wow. Okay. So in the olden days, did you grow up before cable? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you remember there's just 3 networks. I think I always had cable growing up.
See, the 3 networks thing was a myth because every city always had like at least 6.
Okay.
Because you always had the 2 networks that ran the Brady Bunch at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Can't forget about those.
See, that just predates me entirely. So, All right, so there's 3 networks, 6 network, the Brady Bunch network, whatever you want. And then cable came.
Yep.
Okay, and there's all this niche programming. So one of those stations was ESPN, all sports, all the time. Did people think it's going to work? No. How are you going to fill a whole day, 24 hours, with just sports? But guess what? It worked. We've all got jobs. Very nice. Okay, so then after that, the networks start to look around and say, why don't we even get more niche? Let's make the Golf Channel, and that worked. Let's make the NFL Network, and that's working. MLB Network, NBA Channel. So now all the sports have channels. Okay? So now that you can't say that's the end of the digging down into niche categories.
Well, you have cooking, you have Animal Planet, you have History Channel.
Yeah, but just sports. So we went from sports on the network to a whole sports on ABC to a whole network of sports.
Right.
And now you have multiple channels of different sports. So now the NBA or Michael Jordan himself says, you know what? I can have my own channel. The Michael Jordan channel is half-baked idea number one.
So it would just be Michael Jordan games?
Yes. Just Michael Jordan games all the time. Hey, what's going on? Michael Jordan dunks. Hey, just Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan all the time. But so that idea obviously works. So now it never stops though. Like cable has not reached the saturation point where people haven't said they don't want channels. So hey, Michael Jordan channel gets off the ground. Guess what? I'm watching the Michael Jordan Just Dunks channel. All Just Dunks.
Oh, interesting. So you're even going a sub-channel of the sub-channel.
Bill, we just keep pushing until the people don't want it. And I think people will always want it. We got what? MJ 80s channel, MJ 90s channel, MJ Off the Court channel, MJ Golfing channel, Olympic MJ channel, MJ Gambling channel, Charles Oakley's channel, spin-off channel.
I would like the MJ Gambling channel.
It would all work. So say, well, how would it work? It would be free, and then people would just run commercials. If I am, let's say, Michael Jordan did Coke, but then he switched over to Gatorade. Let's say I'm Reebok. Okay, we all know that Michael Jordan is a Nike guy, but I'm Reebok. I want to be associated with Michael Jordan. I run my commercials on the Michael Jordan channel, and next thing you know, we have plenty of sponsors to keep these channels going. Also, a full channel of just Michael Jordan commercials. So people could run the Reebok commercials in between the Michael Jordan commercial channel.
Now, obviously this sounds ridiculous on paper, but here's the catch.
Well,
the way TV is going, with the way the audience is fragmenting, we really might be heading toward an idea like this.
There's no reason not to. Like Michael Jordan needs to take care of his own image. Just buy everything. And if you don't think it doesn't work, go to YouTube and search rare Michael Jordan footage. You haven't seen all the Michael Jordan and you want to. There's a video. Have you seen Michael Jordan breaking the backboard?
Yes.
Okay. Most people have not. Have you seen Kenny Rogers shooting a jump shot over Michael Jordan?
Kenny Rogers,
yes.
the country singer?
Kenny Rogers, the country singer, pump fakes Michael Jordan in a charity game. Michael Jordan bites, and Kenny Rogers hits a jumper from the elbow.
That's pretty interesting.
You can see it on the Kenny Rogers Michael Jordan channel.
Well, here's what I don't understand, because we've talked about Shark Week and Tyson Week and all this stuff.
Yep.
There should be a channel that kind of experiments with this and doesn't go full-fledged, but like has Michael Jordan month, then the next month is the Tiger Woods month. It would be kind of a way to dip your feet into it. And see what happens. A Hulk Hogan month.
Well, you wrote about you linked to the WWE, WWF channel.
I've always wanted the WWE channel, which they kind of already have. It's called 24/7, but you got to pay for it. But it would be refreshing to just have wrestling on at all hours of the day.
The Michael Jordan channel will have documentaries on Michael Jordan, debate shows about of Michael Jordan. So think PTI. Let's just do a whole Michael Jordan episode. Sports Nation, we'll do a whole Michael Jordan thing.
I have an idea for the name of the channel.
Go.
Well, I think you do it in concert with BET.
Okay.
And it's called BET-MJ.
BET-MJ.
Yeah. So
BET is owned by who? Viacom?
Yeah.
All right. I'm already looking to see. I'm like really thinking. I'm talking business stuff. BET-MJ. All right. Well, I like ESPN 23.
Well, what did you think of my half-baked idea that I twittered about how there should be an all-prison movie channel called Bars?
That's pretty good.
With a Z at the end.
Is it all fiction?
Bars.
Fiction or non-fiction?
All prison. Like it would have, like on Thursday night, or the Penitentiary 1 followed by Penitentiary 2.
I am, believe it or not a huge fiction prison movie fan, but I'm a huge prison documentary guy.
Well, we would also have that, and we would buy Oz from HBO. That would be one of our big purchases, is the Oz library.
Yeah, just prison. I love talking prison. I'll talk.
A lot of prison. I want Brubaker. I want to get Lockup. I want to get, obviously Shawshank. Maybe Lockdown Shawshank.
Oh.
A 2-year exclusivity right. So then the other idea I had was Balls with a Z, which would be all sports movies.
How many good sports movies are there?
There's enough sports movies for Balls.
Classic has got a lot of sports movies, and I don't know how.
If they were on all the time, if you knew on channel 472 on your Comcast that there was going to be a sports movie on, you would go and see and wonder what it would be.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy
there
that.
There could be Fish That Saved Pittsburgh on at 6, followed by Rudy at 8, followed by Happy Gilmore at 10, followed by, I guess you'd like dump Celtic Pride at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
because you got to keep 24 hours going.
Yeah, don't put it too close to the Michael Jordan dunk contest channel.
Just all dunk contests.
You're just gonna get crushed. We'll like run into each other in some like fancy Hollywood bar, and you'll be all mad at me because I crushed your network.
Well, I will say that right now, this is the month when NBA TV just shows old games because they got nothing going on. There's nothing going on in the league, it's just game after game after game of old games. So this week they've been showing first games. Ralph Sampson's first game, Reggie Miller's first game, Patrick Ewing's first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty captivating.
Yeah, the MSG did that. They do Michael Jordan's first game at the Garden.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
Well, MSG has that MSG Vault thing, which I really like.
Yeah, I don't know if they have all the rights to it. They run some stuff. They're like, how'd you get the rights for this?
Well, they ran the NBC telecast of Game 5, the OJ game.
Ah.
They ran that last week, which I taped. I was all excited because I thought they'd have the OJ cut-ins, but they cut them out. To me, they should have kept the OJ cut-ins in. That would be cool. But maybe they didn't have the rights to it. I think what you're proposing is basically an extension of what's already happened with the Internet, where now you have blogs that are targeted toward specific types of people who gather with other people that are exactly like them.
Yes.
So let's say you have a blog where you just hate every sports columnist.
Sure. Want me to Google it?
I'm sure it's out there. Okay. So all the other people are on that blog, and they all like, I hate Simmons. He sucks. And they just have a thing, and that's what that blog is. Then you have another blog who's like a blog that Jacqueline would go on, a blog devoted to women's soccer aficionados.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to.
They all go on there, and but that's where it's going. It's all niches, as you would say.
Yes.
I will say that a bad business plan is a blog that just rips on other writers.
Yeah, not a good.
Hasn't really been a huge success. Like even you see a blog that kind of did it a lot originally, or at least a little, was Deadspin, and now they've really gravitated toward trying to run more real pieces, like the Tommy Craig's thing about the scorekeeper that we both linked to today.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
It's fantastic. I think in general, good content will win. That's the old.
Good content's going to win. It took us almost this entire decade to figure that out, but good content's going to win.
Yeah, like Wipeout, for example, on ABC.
Like Wipeout is a great example.
Strong. Did I ever tell you the major flaw with my girlfriend?
What?
She has like a very refined sense of humor. She's like really, really funny. She's awesome. Now you go to her house, and I'm like, let's see what's on the old DVR, and it's just episodes of Wipeout and America's Funniest Home Videos. She just loves people falling down. Like she tells very complicated, funny jokes and being on a lot of stuff. Yeah. But she just loves people falling in the mud, and she laughs hard.
Some people are like that. My mom is like that too.
I mean, it's awesome, but it's like very strange. Like, I guess people. It's like people falling down in the mud is fun. You can save all your highfalutin comedy for some basement in East Village.
That's the only way. That's the only thing that can hit their funny bone.
Well, she loves it.
I got to mention that you've now thrown that girlfriend word around like 4 times.
Why? What happened?
Are you in the honeymoon stage right now?
No,
or what's going on here?
No.
You got to tell us something?
No, I mean she's wonderful. She's really wonderful.
All right.
That's it. I mean, what am I going to say?
Congratulations.
For what?
I'm happy for you.
Hey, she's nice.
Happy for you. It's a nice thing to be in.
Yeah, she got nice hair.
Yeah. Half-baked idea number 2.
All right. That idea goes.
I liked half-baked idea number 1. I don't think it can work, though.
No,
like when you had the bar idea that shifted walls, I really felt like that could have worked.
Okay, when I pull up with a Rolls Royce in front of your house with the license plate that says MJ Channel on it. Hey, Kev, what's going on? Hey, I always believed in you, buddy.
The MJ channel, I'm not. I think the MJ dunk contest channel, I don't see that working.
It'll all work. Trust me. Michael Jordan doesn't lose except when it comes to ownership.
You know, the one good thing you have in your favor is that he supposedly controls all the footage of himself.
I've heard that when we
It's true.
Why, are you learning this on those docs?
No.
Or just know this?
It's true. He it's something that is not an urban legend.
You've got information that you're holding back.
I'm just telling you that they cannot do anything major involving video of Michael Jordan without his consent.
Yes. I know that there's like secret documentaries out there that
I personally think that it's part of the deal of you go away for 18 months to serve your gambling suspension.
Oh boy.
And you pretend that you wanted to play baseball.
Oh boy. Michael Jordan will crush this podcast.
He probably will. He's actually
Probably
digitally erasing it as we're talking.
It's done.
All right.
Okay.
Half-baked idea number 2.
Okay, half-baked idea number 2, speaking of dunks, is my way to save the NBA. The WNBA. And I think I told you this a long time ago, but now we're in Sports Nation, this even makes more sense.
Yeah.
So we're in the WNBA season right now, or not. I'm not 100% sure because no one pays attention.
Oh, if this is the idea that I think it is, I love this idea.
Okay.
I think I might have even thrown this last second into my book.
Okay.
And given you credit. I'm not positive.
I would love
That's
it.
how much I like this idea.
Okay. That's great tease.
Thank you.
So the ball in the NBA is smaller.
Ball in WNBA is smaller.
Ball in the WNBA is smaller
Yes.
because women have smaller hands.
Yep.
It's not an inequality thing. It's like women have smaller hands. We made the ball smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, which means that David Stern is willing to bend the rules a little bit to change the specifications of standard NBA to fit the women's game. The ball is smaller.
Right.
3-point line is closer. Okay. The WNBA currently has no one dunking. What the WNBA needs to do is lower the rims to a dunkable height. Maybe it's 9 feet, maybe it's 8.5, maybe it's 7 feet for all I care. So that WNBA women players can fly through the air and crush dunks. Saves the WNBA.
It's a great idea. I think realistically maybe you lower it to like 9 feet 1 inch.
Whatever percentage is of the NBA people that can dunk, that needs to be the amount of people in the WNBA that can dunk. You have to have dunks. It's the most exciting part of basketball. So Stern said, all right, I got this great league. I'm going to spin it off, but let me take the most exciting part out. Hey, I'm Bill Simmons. I opened Bill Simmons Steakhouse. I serve great steaks. And I'm going to open another one in New York, but no steaks. No steaks at this Bill Simmons Steakhouse.
Just fish.
Just fish. It's different. It's fish. No one likes it. That's what we come here for, the dunks. What are you doing? So I'm just starting to spill things. All right, so
You've lost control.
So Sports Nation, which is a wonderful show that I produce, along with a bunch of other wonderful people.
Yeah,
we show a lot of dunks because we love dunks. We're not idiots. So we've shown NBA dunks. We've shown college dunks. So then we had some kids send us pool dunks. Kids flying through the air, crushing dunks in pools. We've shown that. We showed a dog dunking a basketball the other day. Little German Shepherd dunks a basketball. We've never put WNBA on the show. Not once. You know what I will? Dunk the ball. You get on the show.
How much would you offer for the dunk video that my buddy Bish and I made in 1988 to a Michael McDonald song?
Does that exist?
It does exist, and I've been thinking about...
Could you dunk, Bill?
I was thinking about giving it to Deadspin for their 5-year anniversary.
Hold on, can you dunk?
This was like when I was 20, when I actually, I wasn't Harold Miner, but I at least could get off the ground a little bit, and we lowered a rim to like 9 feet 2 inches or something, and did a whole dunk video.
Harold Miner channel, by the way, 567 on your
Harold Miner channel is excellent.
Baby Jordan, it's videos of Harold Miner and Jordan as a child. So you can never. Well, I don't think people realize this about you. Just from your headshot, you're really tall. You're much taller than people I expected.
I'm over 6'1".
You should be able to dunk.
Me and Chuck Klosterman are the two secretly tallest guys in America.
Really?
Everyone thinks Chuck Klosterman's like 5'4", and he's like might be 6'2".
Wow! Did not also Manute Bol.
Manute Bol is, he's secretly and openly tall.
Sneakily tall. You ran in even taller than I expected.
Here's why I like your dunk idea, for 3 reasons. First of all, too much of the WNBA action because all of them are like really between 5'7" and 6'4", and none of them can jump. So every rebound, it takes a while to get down to them. It leads to too many loose balls and people fighting stuff. You want to bring the rim lower to the people so that they can get the ball more quickly and start a fast break or whatever.
Great call.
Second, dunking, as you mentioned, it's really the only way they're going to get on SportsCenter. How else are they going to get on? And as we've learned, Americans need digestible highlights and plays and things that can be passed along.
Yeah, bounce passes aren't getting it done, ladies.
Third, this is the YouTube generation.
Yep.
And this is really one of the reasons, secretly, why I think soccer's gained a little momentum, because soccer is a boring sport to watch unless you're really into it for 2 hours. But on YouTube, it's fantastic.
Great highlights.
Yeah, you watch like a Pele 10-minute thing, and nobody is not going to be riveted by that.
Yep.
And, it's a great, like Josie Altidore scored the goal assisted on the goal for Hull City. You cue that up. It takes 20 seconds to watch. WNBA has not tapped into that.
I don't know. Just what do you have to lose at this point?
Well,
what do you have to, David Stern, next time, just what do you have to lose?
That was my final reason, is that we are now at the point that you have to kind of do a swing for the fences kind of move. You have to realize now that this league started in 1997. And the only reason I remember this is because when I started my own website, which was May 1997, and I had like 6 readers, I think the 7th column I ever wrote was why the WNBA wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. And the league is still there. And I can't even remember what my life was like when I had that website. That's how long ago it was. Like at some point they have to realize, all right, what can we do differently?
Just do it. It needs to be done. I think someone needs to take the ball and run with it. That, hey, just as a goof, LA Sparks or Mercury, in practice, have the guy lower it down and throw a little dunk contest and throw it on YouTube and see how many hits it has. And then someone take that and forward it to David Stern. Like, look, we got 200,000 hits. These super athletic chicks can fly through the air and dunk. They're great athletes, but you're making something impossible for them to do.
Well, you're not just getting dunks. You're talking about blocks.
Yep.
Now blocks are in play. Somebody getting stuffed at the rim. You're talking about follow-up, a ball on the rim.
Alley-oops.
I not only would allow dunking, I would allow offensive goaltending.
Beautiful.
I think that would also be exciting.
It's great in driveways. I know that.
Right. And then the other thing, I would see, who was the player who got pregnant last year?
She's
Candace Parker?
Yeah.
In my opinion, maybe this is a little out there.
Oh boy.
I think if you're pregnant, you have to keep playing.
Okay.
No, seriously.
What?
That's not a reason to stop playing. That's not an injury.
I mean,
it's not like that's like not a torn ACL.
How long did she has another human being inside of her.
My wife was doing pregnant Pilates until she was like 8.5 months pregnant with our second kid. These people can't run up and down a little bit. They can't play 5 minutes a game. Can't waddle around. How is that a reason? What is it? What draws them more attention than 7.5-month-old or pregnant Candace Parker, playing in the semifinals, and the whole Christine Brennan getting into it? This is bad for women. She writes a column about it. Big debate. It leads the sports reporters whether they've gone too far with the pregnancy rule. That's kind of stuff they need to do.
It would get a lot of attention. Have her get into a fight? Ever seen a pregnant woman fight?
Oh, they have more hormones. Their parts are going to get more fights.
I saw a pregnant woman fight at a carnival.
Nice.
It was like, oh my, what has happened? Like something really bad is going to happen. There's a baby involved. Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Well, with pregnant women, you have the following things at play. You have hormones, so they're easily irritable. They cry more easily. They're more passionate. Oh. These are all qualities I want to see in a basketball court.
I could see there being. Remember when Karl Malone got all mad at Magic when Magic was going to come back? He's like, I don't want to play defense. You'll have that aspect. I'm not playing defense on Candace Parker.
How am I going to box out? And then it's when they're setting picks, they're so big. Oh. It's actually a competitive advantage.
Yeah,
it's like when Wes Unseld.
People will be mad.
You run the pick and roll. You have to run all the way around the
get her off. Take my team off the court.
Right.
and then have her crushing dunks and doing dunks with the baby somehow.
You know what else they need? They need some sort of, this was the genius of what country? The South African, who she might be a girl, she might be a guy, we don't know.
Yes.
They need some sort of gender scandal.
Oh, boy. See, I feel actually sad. I love to joke. I mean, I can go either way. You want me to joke? I actually think that's a serious
Well, why don't
story.
you go both ways? Go serious first on me.
All right. To go serious, I think that it's an easy joke to make, but there are, if you're a fan of National Geographic or any sort of science shows, you realize gender is actually a very confusing thing, and there are a lot of
there's a lot of people out there who are a little confused about.
It's weird what the human body can do if some of a chromosome takes the left turn. And there's like women that look like men and men that look like women, and that men that can totally look like men but are actually chromosomally women.
Chromosomically?
Yes, that is a word. I have no clue.
I wish Joe Mead was here.
I'm way out of my lane right now talking about chromosomes.
I wish Joe Mead was here, because Joe Mead is actually a woman. A lot of people don't know that.
That's pretty good. So I think it's a serious story that they're crushing. It's not like I put on an outfit and I'm out there running.
Okay.
I think it's actually a complicated story that's an easy thing to.
Okay, here's my counter to all of that.
Go ahead.
I'm not denying all of that. I'm not denying that it's a figure that we should kind of feel bad for. Like she's a human being. It's not like she asked for. She's got to run either in the male or the female, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that if you're looking for things, if you're the WNBA, how do we get more publicity? A whole gender scandal is not a bad thing for them. I would actually try to scout people who were chromosomically ambiguous.
I mean, that's not a word.
Well, I'm just saying, chromosomically.
Okay. All right, so
chromosomally.
All right, I'll do you one better. That will leave people with gender confusion or whatever out of the picture.
Yeah.
I'll take I'll fight it in a court of law. I'll have a high school star that never made it say, you know what, I want to go play in the WNBA, and it's illegal that you won't let me play. It's gender discrimination.
Oh.
And it could be someone that's...
Could that happen?
I mean...
That's interesting. I mean, I remember, I think this was at my dad's school system, the high school. Somebody wanted to play field hockey there, or one of the competing school systems.
That's what happens, yes.
It's like, hey, I don't have field hockey. But I think the courts would say that he could play pro basketball.
I can't play pro basketball. I'm not good enough. I want to play this basketball.
Yeah, but you have the option of...
But you just need to fight. It's just the fight. The fight is
Well, why don't you have
the journey is the destination.
Why don't you have one of the Sports Nation's PAs file a lawsuit and that will bring more publicity to the show?
I might do it myself. I'll have Jacoby do it. Jacoby can dunk, so you need someone that can dunk too.
Yeah, Jacoby would be a good one.
I don't know if that's insulting or a compliment.
No, it'd be good because he would get a reality TV show out of it, and then he would reach his goal to become a reality TV star.
We are nailing a lot of birds with.
I love I think lowering the rim. You know what? I don't even think it's a half-baked idea. I think it's fully baked. I think it just came out of the oven, and I think it's ready to be served.
Stern, come and get it.
No, seriously. I would love to hear the counter-argument. Jacqueline, are you listening?
Of course I'm listening, Bill.
Women's sports advocate, biggest women's soccer fan that we have at ESPN. As a woman, are you offended by the idea of lowering the rims for the WNBA?
I don't know enough about basketball, and I'm not trying to, not get into it. But, I mean, I don't know what the rim level is in college. I don't know why it's the height it is in the NBA.
It's 10 feet all the way through.
I mean, I would think if these people wanted the rims lowered, I mean, why hasn't any player ever made that case? Why haven't the players made that case themselves?
Well, this is the rub though, because they're like, oh no, we want to prove we're like the men, but then they use the smaller ball, which kind of undermines it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all I know about the smaller basketball is I couldn't hit a shot until we switched to that in high school. So that was the thrill of my life.
Nor could you dunk.
Yeah,
well,
so why
but it's
not
not like I
rim?
couldn't dunk on a 6-foot rim.
Yes, you could.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll hold the garbage can.
I would
right
think
up now.
that it would certainly turn into more highlights.
Yeah, that's undeniable.
All right, thank you.
But I do know about soccer that all the rules are the same in soccer.
Well, they should be, though.
There's my soccer mention, that's all.
All right. We're coming back to you at the end. You're going to
Okay.
give your 45-second recap of the Women's Soccer League this year.
All right.
Okay. Wild's half-baked idea number 3.
Okay, half-baked idea number 3.
Is this the one you were bragging about?
No, I brag about all of them.
No, you said one beforehand that you were really excited about. Or did you already do it?
I might have already done it. I've got a few. They're all. I mean, they're all equally wonderful and stupid at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. So I need a better name for this. I'm going to write down. I'm going to call it "Rent a Terribly Boring Person." Okay. It's called "Rent a Terribly Boring Person."
All right.
Please feel free to Twitter or tweet Simmons or me or I, and tell me what the name of this should be. Rent a terrible, boring person. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you some stats, and they might not be right, but I just did a quick internet search, so ESPN Research would get mad at me if I don't get these right. All right, so the Daily News said that Plaxico Burress lost $27 million when the Giants got rid of him. Okay, so that's all you need to know, $27 million. Mike Vick on 60 Minutes said that he lost $135 million. A lot of money. And when Marshawn Lynch got caught for smoking weed, he's suspended for the first 3 games of the season. He lost $112,000. All right. So the idea of this is that you have a guy that is with you all the time as basically an insurance policy for yourself. Now, you have insurance for your house because your house is worth a lot of money. You have insurance for your car. You have insurance for your body. You want to stay healthy. And you have a bodyguard if you're an agent. If you're an athlete, because you want to make sure no one hurts you. But you have no one protecting you from your own bad decisions, such as smoking weed, such as fighting dogs.
Going to a strip joint.
Going to a strip joint, which is illegal, but you can't go bring a gun.
Participating in a 3-person orgy where the 4th person holds a video camera.
Well, who did that happen to?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Well,
Sure, I'm
blind
sure it's
item.
been offered.
I like that. There's some NBA players sweating. Like, what the heck, Simmons? You weren't supposed to tell anyone about that. So
I was only holding the camera.
So the idea is that for about so Vic lost $135 million. For about $75,000 chump change to these guys, you go through my company, boringpeople.com, and I search the world like a model scout. But I'm trying to find the most boring people possible. Just the most boring losers there is. And I hire them. I have a whole collection of them.
I think some of them are listening to this podcast.
Send me your resumes.
These people, their ears have perked up.
What is that? So you said. So suppose somebody like, let's say, Paul Pierce comes to me. Paul Pierce says, Kevin, I need a boring person in my life. I want to make sure I don't go to the club. I want to make sure I don't do anything stupid, and I can't be left to my own devices. Although I'm a wonderful Celtic, I just want to make sure nothing happens. I need someone boring with me. So I'm like, no problem, Paul. I'll go through my files. I'll do all sorts of match tests, and then eventually I'll place this person with Paul Pierce. This person, a terribly boring loser, will be with
Why
Paul
do they have to
Pierce.
be a loser? Why can't they just be boring?
Oh, they don't have to be. Actually, I can't have someone be exciting. I can't have Paul Pierce say, let's go to the club. Let's go to the gun show.
Yeah.
And this person can't be like, good idea. They have to be like, nah, man, let's play Madden. And
So
like,
you-
all right,
so-
cool, good idea. Let's play Madden.
So ideally,
Right.
you'd want a guy who is either engaged or married. So he's afraid to go to a strip joint.
Yes.
Maybe somebody who's even whipped.
Yeah, sure. But they have to live. They have to be with Paul Pierce 24 hours a day.
But this becomes their job. They tell their wife, honey, I'm going to spend the next 6 months with Paul Pierce,
Oh.
and I'll send you money.
Oh,
And
maybe
she's
they have,
like,
maybe there's 3 of them. Maybe it's just a rotating. Yeah, I'm on first.
Oh, yeah,
shift. I get
8-hour
first-
shifts.
Yeah, I get first shift. I get second shift. Like, hey, Jimmy, how are you? Like, going back to the wife.
right. I think that you'd have to set it up like J-Date a little bit, where you'd want to match the skills. Like somebody would say, I'm a boring guy, but I'm fantastic at Madden 2010.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'd
one of
find
the
someone,
greats.
I find someone. Not everyone would be a match for everyone else, but I get 10% of their salary, and this people will never get in trouble. And they're like, Kevin, I don't want to spend the money. That's what all these big athletes tell me. I don't want to spend the money. I'm okay. I go tell that to Michael Vick. He lost $135 million.
So Lamar Odom would come to you and he would say,
Yeah, go ahead, Lamar. You pretend you're Lamar. Hey, Lamar, what's going
all
on?
right, I'm Lamar Odom. So I say, hey, Kevin, it's Lamar Odom.
Hey, glad you called.
I want to surround myself with two people who I need one of them to have the ability to drive a souped-up Escalade.
Okay, gotcha. Souped-up Escalade.
I need another person.
Standard, or
No, it's shift. I need somebody who knows how to order candy online.
Candy online.
And I need someone who's allergic to the smell of pot.
Allergic to the smell of pot?
And if there's any pot in the room, this guy will start violently throwing up.
Okay.
And I need somebody who can work a remote control.
I'll tell you first off, Lamar, I want to thank you for your business. I've got, did Kobe recommend you, or are you
Yeah.
here? Okay.
So it would go, and you'd set him up with two people with those skills.
Yes. And I don't know who, I don't have the quite right, I don't know what the right person is, because the person has to be unexcitable. They kind of have to be like William H. Macy in The Cooler. Just like really just bring you down. And so you don't get in any trouble.
It could work a couple different ways because, for instance, in high school and, for really my whole life, my buddy Bish, we always used to make fun of him. He wasn't the most dynamic guy ever. He was always up for stuff. He was always kind of the social conscience of the group where we were like, hey, why don't we get in the car and we'll drink? Like stuff like that.
Yes.
No, we shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't drink while you drive. This is late 80s. Like you needed somebody who would say stuff like that. Or, maybe we should go over to that party at 2:00 and we'll be the ones who carry the marijuana. No, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
what if we get stopped?
Bad idea.
So you need like that social conscience guy, and that's what it seems like a lot of these athletes are missing.
Because a lot of their buddies, they make 100 times as much as their buddies do. So I'm basically the boss. Like, hey, let's go over here to this house party at 3 a.m. If I've got $100 million, who are you? You're just my buddy. You're my cousin. I don't care what you say. I'm in charge. I pay your rent.
Well, what would be an interesting sub-website for this is you hire people to be people's cousins at a discount. In other words, they will fulfill all the needs of a cousin, but they won't ask the guy to fund a barbershop or a production company or a bar.
Yeah, and they'll buy you like presents and stuff. Hey, that's my cousin. He's very.
They'll remember your birthday, and they won't ask anything from you.
And I get paid off of this. I mean, I get paid like gangbusters until it becomes a rule. Like Goodell makes everyone come to me.
Well, I think you call it Kevin's List.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And like the Lakers are talking, Lamar Odom says, I got to get rid of a couple of my friends. And well, have you tried Kevin's List?
Give it a shot. I haven't gotten into any trouble.
The other thing is you have a bunch of people, post-college people, age 22 to 26, who have a lot of the skills that are equipped to kind of serve this role.
Yes.
They play video games. They drink. They
No
get
drinking.
up late.
No drinking.
Well, drinking in the house is okay.
Bad texts. I don't know. I'd rather not have drinkers, but for a discounted rate, I'll give you a guy who drinks.
You just, this leads to a whole fundamental issue I have with Entourage.
Okay.
That he does not have that friend who gets him into trouble and puts him in bad situations. I'm talking about Vince.
Yeah, didn't they have the cousin from
Dom.
The Wire?
Dom showed up. Yeah, Dom showed up for 2 episodes and kind of wreaked havoc. And then it was like, this guy's too interesting. We got to get rid of him.
Yeah, like, hey guys, I'm out on vacation from Baltimore.
Yeah,
they're giving it to. Hey, I told everybody about my big Hollywood cousin.
Yeah, but it was actually it added a little life to the show.
I just pretended he was on The Wire still.
I don't know what accent that was either.
That was my Dom impression. Hey, old Lieutenant Daniels has got me on rooftops watching Stringer. I want to go kick it with you, Turtle. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know what just happened. I like Kevin's List. I think that's what you call it, Kevin's List.
My brother's name is Craig, and there's already a Craigslist. I think he'd be mad, but maybe. Something creative.
Or
like
whatever.
That.
Well, you said you didn't have a name for it.
All right, so maybe, let people blow up your Twitter feed. How many Twitter followers do you have?
Boring. How about boringentouragemember.com?
Not bad. It's not going to be web-based, though.
I like this idea. And, it goes back to the fundamental point of that these guys are just surrounded by people that drag them down over and over and over again.
It's a financial situation. You need.
They drag them down financially. They drag them down socially. They put them in situations that they shouldn't be in, and they feel this insane sense of loyalty to them because they knew them before they were famous.
Yeah, just relax. Go to Kevin's List. Get somebody. Sit down on your couch. Watch the Michael Jordan channel. Everything is fine. That's a call to callback, folks. Boom, boom.
All right, here's my half-baked idea for you.
Go.
Last Friday of every month on Sports Nation, Drunk Friday.
Oh, this is brilliant.
So
Drunk
you
Friday.
basically they do shots and they drink beforehand, and they just do the show. Not like just lambasted drunk, but like very buzzed, like that 2-hour mark after you've had a few drinks in you and you're excited and you're giddy and you're kind of loud and you're
Brilliant.
interrupting everybody you're with and you're thinking, you know, the night has all this potential. You want them kind of at that stage to maybe you start Coward like 2 hours before you start Michelle Beadle, probably like 90 minutes before.
It's really good.
You want her like 3 drinks and a shot in her.
We're live. That's would you do a drunk podcast? I'll do a drunk podcast with you.
I would. I think I would do a drunk podcast.
Depends how drunk, and you can be. Jacqueline can make sure. You know, Jacqueline is the safety net. Once you do
wait a
drunk
second.
live
You're
TV,
saying
it's scary.
You're saying live. Oh, I see what you mean.
I just went. I treat these ideas very seriously. Like, yeah, let's do it. We'll do it tomorrow. I'll go and buy some Grey Goose right now for Colin.
So you'd have to tape it the night before.
Yes. Then it wouldn't work it wouldn't work sports wise. I mean, you'd have to get into it slow. We could do a drunk segment maybe.
Drunk segment.
They've done those. You know, you gotta go live. Either go or don't. You know.
Because I think
Sit
with
on the
Sports
sidelines
Nation
while-
being on the Deuce, you got to do a couple things to get people talking.
Stunt programming.
A little bit. Like maybe even leak the viral video of Coward shouting down everybody in the set or something. Like some disgruntled PA leaked it, but really you guys orchestrated the whole thing.
Just Coward pounding on Horowitz.
Just screaming at him.
just punching him.
Strangling him with a tie or something. Well, think about it.
Well, do
Think
a drunk
about
podcast.
Friday.
You and I put your money where your mouth is. Do a drunk podcast. Just do a rip-roaring drunk podcast.
What do you think I'm doing all the time?
There's a reason why these aren't video blogs, Wilds.
Yeah. Why do you think I do them from my house? Anything to plug?
No.
Nothing.
I mean, you watch Sports Nation. It's on at 4. We're trying to brighten up your day a little bit.
When do you want my big memo?
I've been waiting for it, to be honest with you. I was like, I said, I wonder if Bill has sincere critiques and he's not.
I do. See, my whole feeling is you can't judge a show accurately and objectively until the 2-month mark because no show really starts to become what it's going to become until 2 months.
Yes.
No matter what it is, whether it's a sitcom, a drama, a talk show. I mean, sometimes I don't like hung. The hung can make any sort of change and they've lost me. Mm-hmm. But I think a show that's on daily that, where it's an hour show, it's tough to fill an hour. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, we're changing things every day. And luckily the executives are nice enough to say, hey, what do you think of the show? He's like, I'm not going to say anything for 3 months. Just do whatever you want. So it's really.
So they went 3 months on you.
Yeah, it's a free environment. It's really good creatively. Like, oh, okay, no one's judging us for 3 months. Let's keep pushing.
Have you started to feel the effects of living in Bristol at all?
It's not a 100% because I'm show all the time. That once I go home, I just fall asleep. But there'll be a point when the show becomes when we figure out exactly what we want. There'll be a point when the show becomes easier and you start to get 8-hour days, and you start to have a normal life. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, now what do I do?
Well, the thing that I was in Bristol recently, and the interesting thing about Bristol is, they call it the campus. Mm-hmm. But you know what else calls itself the campus? The Scientology lab in Los Angeles.
I mean, come on. There's college campuses. Well,
I'm just saying. The campus can take a variety of shapes and forms. And when you go onto the ESPN campus, you are in ESPN. Everywhere you look, there's pictures of ESPN guys.
That's right, baby.
There's the ESPN logo.
Mm-hmm.
There's buildings. There's all these other people who work for ESPN and they love ESPN. And you go to the cafeteria and you're sitting next to people who are on TV and people who produce it. And you got ESPN shoved down your throat constantly.
I mean,
you become a team player after a while. I don't want that to happen to you.
No, it's a much more the stereotype of ESPN. I don't think is 100% true. I mean, it is. You work at Pfizer. Everyone's like, oh, that's Pfizer. You're going to get Pfizer-fied.
Not saying it's a stereotype. I'm saying, you get that ESPN on your brain. You're in it all the time.
What would be an example of how would I get ESPN-ified? I'll tell you one. You want me to give you one?
Yeah.
Favre. What's a big critique about Favre? That they would do too much Favre. The day that Favre came back, like ratings all across the board went through the roof. So everyone says they're tired of Favre. Like it's a might be a fair critique when we're doing the show. Like, are people tired of Favre? And then you look at it, like, wow, people like Favre. People vote with the ratings.
I never totally understood the ESPN's pushing the Favre thing too much because it's ESPN's job. ESPN's like Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. They're not saying that the line of Celtics by 4 over the Lakers is the correct line. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to set the line so that there's an equal amount of action on both sides. Mm-hmm. And with ESPN, they run things that will attract the most people who have the most opinions about it. No. And when Brett Favre decides to come back or retire or do whatever the hell he's going to do, for whatever reason, everybody is interested in this because they like complaining about it, is really what it's about.
You think? Well, okay.
They like bitching about it and like, oh, my God, this Brett Favre. Like, people have fun getting mad at Brett Favre.
Yeah, I mean, people like, if everyone all of a sudden loved Jeff Garcia, if one day did a Jeff Garcia piece, and like, wow, great Jeff Garcia, and for some reason the whole nation got pumped up about Jeff Garcia, we would run more Jeff Garcia. Yes. As a producer of Sports Nation, I'm going to run whatever people want to see. That's sort of my job. The customer is always right. And if the ratings keep going up because I'm doing Jeff Garcia, next thing you know, I'll have the Jeff Garcia channel.
You really pulled back. You pulled it way back.
I'll just do whatever. I'm trying to do what I think people will interest people.
Yeah.
So people are saying, hey, we like the random. What's the woman's name that sang and that Britain's Got Talent?
Oh, Susan Boyle.
Yeah, everyone loved her. All of a sudden, the country turned like, we love this woman. Like, okay, hey, all media, let's shift to this side.
Everybody's already moved on to the bisexual black guy.
Yeah, let's go this way.
What's that guy's name? Dalen Bennett or something like that. The best audition Simon Cowell's ever seen.
No, boy, I don't get down with Simon Cowell. That's my buddy Jacoby that does all the reality shows.
Oh, well, this was a show this is the English version of American Idol. Or one of those type shows, and this guy knocked it out of the park. I've been going crazy about it. I do wonder why we just don't run those shows.
What? What shows?
Like we don't run those. Like we always steal English programming all the time, and they come up with ideas, and then we take them. Why don't we just run the shows that they're running?
I don't think they're.
Why even steal them?
Didn't we used to run? What's it? Whose line is it, anyways, or something like that? What was that with the first one with Wayne?
The improv show. Yeah,
yes.
See, but that's not a good example, though.
They used to run the English version. I'll tell you a horrible thing about me. It's not going to make me sound very uncultured.
I hope it's that you don't like English people.
I can't understand English people.
Oh.
I can't understand English people.
Interesting.
What's the movie that everybody loves? Like, oh, this is the best movie of all time.
Oh, Snatch?
Yeah, Snatch. Oh, you got to see Snatch. I have no idea what they're saying, man.
They need closed captioning.
This is in another language. I don't have time for this. You got the internet to read.
Yeah, I still don't like English people, but I've softened on a little bit because I've been getting into soccer.
No, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Get
that's
out of
another
here.
one.
I can't understand it. Go home.
Here's the one thing I don't get about the anti-ESPN thing. Is that people really think, and I wrote about this in the mailbag today, because I'm getting these emails from people accusing me of getting into soccer because ESPN made me.
Yeah, it was like
they've been telling me to do it. Like
the big conspiracies.
Yeah, we have the World Cup coming up. We need Simmons to start writing about soccer. Will you call him and you tell him that he's got to write about soccer? Like, how do they think that works? I'm being told what to write about, and also, haven't I proven over the last decade that I'm probably not going to listen to somebody who's going to tell me what to write?
People need to realize that it's very free environment. Like you can pretty much do what you want.
It really is.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think they would actually be very concerned about telling me what to
challenge
write
me to
about,
put something on a show up. I'll put the stupidest video on Sports Nation possible.
Are you eating?
Oh, so I had ice. I need caffeine, Bill.
All right, well, now we're at the time of the podcast where our lovely producer, Jacqueline Purdy, who has filled in for Joe Mead all year because Joe Mead is about as erratic as Clay Buchholz. She is now going to give us a 45-second summation of the first World's Professional Soccer League season. What's it called?
Women's Professional Soccer.
Women's Professional Soccer, the WPS.
WPS.
Just WPS, not the WPS.
Right.
Okay. So tell us how it played out. The team that was supposed to win didn't win.
No, huge upset. Your Los Angeles Soul were beaten by New Jersey last Saturday. 1-0, early goal. Then they had a player kind of unfair. I guess there's no kind of unfairly red carded.
Oh.
And but it was exciting. And you get an upset. They were already, they were losing already, but they Los Angeles put everything they had into it in the final 45 minutes. Marta was standing over a free kick from 35 yards out. In the 93rd minute, she sailed it high, but, came down to the last couple seconds. And the New Jersey team had some coaching changes during the year. So their captain, who's also the captain of the U.S. women's national team, Christy Rampone, was the player coach. She played all 90 minutes in the game. They won, and 2 days later, she revealed that she was 3 months pregnant.
Oh.
There we go.
That's great. That's a great story. Was that on Sports Nation Wilds?
No, not yet.
That should be on tomorrow, the pregnant player coach.
You can see her play in the All-Star game on Sunday.
Okay.
I will say that this WPS season has gotten me excited for one reason, is that they brought back the concept of the player coach.
Ooh.
Well, she retired after the game, so you won't see her again.
But still, proved, and this is what I've been pushing for with basketball. I think I declare that Steve Nash should be the first player coach in 30 years. I think he could do it. There's no reason why he couldn't do it. Just have assistants. These guys don't really need to be coached anyway. I think there's too much overcoaching. Let's see one team try this. Wilds?
Give it a shot.
Why not?
I'm all for player coaches.
Bill Russell won 2 NBA titles in 1968 and 1969. He was the head coach. John Havlicek ran the offense, and Sam Jones ran the defense. And the players subbed in and out like they were an intramural team, and they won 2 titles.
What would be the argument against it? That if you thought Steve Nash was doing a bad job coaching, but a good job playing, you couldn't fire him as the coach?
But you just tell him, hey, you're not the coach anymore. We're going to get somebody else. You're still a player.
Oh boy!
I think the argument against it is that it's now illegal.
Why?
They made a rule that you can't because they thought it was like some teams could potentially circumvent the salary cap.
Oh.
Which is really stupid. Like, if you're like the Milwaukee Bucks, what way are you going to get more interest in like hiring some schmuck like me as a GM or making Luke Ridnour a player coach? Like, how else are you going to get anybody to even notice you're in the league?
I mean, is that the real reason? Circumventing the salary?
Yes.
Don't you think with all the the college payouts that OJ Mayo got this amount of money or whatever, that NBA teams that's probably happening? Or you could easily be like, hey, sorry we signed you so low. Go check out that $1 million down on the docks.
I'm going to take it one step further. Why do we have a salary cap and it's players, but the coaches aren't accounted for? How does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Why not make the coaches part of the salary cap?
That makes sense.
Bump it up like an extra $5 million. Then if you want to make the player coach, you make him the player coach. I just said player coach 3 times in one sentence.
I can't believe you have a shell company that pays LeBron. The Dolans can't have a shell company that pay LeBron X amount of extra $1 million to come to New York. Just saying, guys.
That's pretty interesting. Like if they made him like the head of Cablevision.
That's his job. That's
man, he takes it seriously.
That's his real job. He's not joking around. He programs this.
LeBron had to miss practice today. He was meeting with the NFL Network.
He programs stuff. We have to pay him $200 million a year. That's a
great idea. All right, so WPS, not the WPS. So that was really one of the great outcomes. The team that won wasn't the team that was supposed to win, and they brought back the player coach. And not only that, but they brought back the pregnant player coach.
Triple
which we haven't seen since Bill Russell in the 1969 finals.
Hey, Bill Simmons, everybody.
Well, Jacqueline, what is their last name?
Sky Blue FC.
Oh, you left that part out because that's a terrible name. You didn't want us to know that, did you?
It's a great grand.
The New Jersey Sky Blue FC?
They are the team from New Jersey.
I love that Jacqueline feels personally responsible for the naming of the squad.
Are they going to play in the new Harrison Stadium next year?
I'm not sure. Right now they play at Rutgers. I don't know if they'll play in some of those stadiums are a little bit too big, and they sold out their final game at Rutgers, so I would think that they might want to stay there.
Do you think you're the Chris Mortensen of the WPS or WPS? WPS.
I don't know. I had some big stories. chance.
You did, right? I mean, you were our lead person.
I tried. Their coach who quit. I reached out to her. I had a story about that, but
Did you break the pregnant thing?
No, I did not.
Who broke that one?
They sent out a press release.
Oh, they could have given that to you.
I don't know. I got off the plane because I went to LA to see the game, and I got off the plane and I was very surprised about that news.
If WPS is going to make it, they need to create their own Chris Mortensen and their own Mel Kiper Jr. and their own Peter Gammons.
That's you.
Oh, I wish we had a Mel Kiper Jr. There's a huge draft coming up.
Oh, is that televised?
No, it's going to be. I don't think it's and then there's an expansion draft coming up, so that'll be really exciting.
How many expansion teams are adding? Because this is the telltale sign whether a league is going to get messed up or not.
They're just adding 2, so they're going to go to 9 teams.
9 teams. Okay, don't double from 9 to 18 1 year, because that's the blueprint of how not to do it.
Well, I would think that they would have a hard time with an expansion draft if they suddenly added 7 more teams at the same time.
But they should have one in Seattle, though. We both agree.
I think that would be great. I know that Seattle is on their list of cities that have ownership groups that are interested, but the new teams are going to be in Philadelphia and Atlanta, which were fairly successful franchises in the old league. So.
Wilds, do you think it's interesting that Seattle lost their basketball team and immediately threw themselves into soccer? It was kind of like a guy getting dumped by his girlfriend and immediately getting into some music that he'd never listened to, and his friends are like, "Dude, what's going on? Why are you listening to to the Virgin so much?"
Hey man, I like him. I just haven't really had the time to pay attention to him.
Hey man, Bravery's all right. Why are you coming down on me?
Relax, guys. You don't understand me anymore.
But yeah, Seattle's Soccer USA now. And now Portland's upset because Portland thought Portland was Soccer USA. So there's a little Northwest tension. There you go. Kevin Wilds, Sports Nation Creative Director. I'm going to give you that title.
But that's not an advertising title, but I'll take it.
Executive Producer?
That's Don Draper's title.
What's your title?
Don Draper, Creative Director of Sports Nation.
Why can't Don Draper be a title?
It probably should be.
You just say, Kevin, what do you do? I'm the Don Draper of Sports Nation.
I am. I'm wearing a tie right now.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. As always, a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Later, buddy.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.